Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to 100 videos in 100 days. Today is day 17. Flying through these days. Today, I kind of want to talk to you guys a little bit about the messenger manual. Something that we dropped earlier in the week, and it kind of popped off. So I figured I would do a little bit of a video around it. Uh, Mind you, I'm not going to run through the entire doc because it is absolutely massive, which you can get your hands on completely for free, mind you. Um, this is the exact messenger manual we've used to process thousands and thousands and thousands of payments. Right, I think we've done over 3,200 sales in the last 2 years, and we don't do calls, we don't do Zoom calls, we don't do cold DMs, we don't do outreach or cold outreach. Right, we'll reach out to people that kind of come into our worlds, but we're not spending copious amounts of time reaching out to people, adding friends, packing our calendar with one or two call closes. Like we're not doing that. And this is a really good framework to follow with a bunch of different scenarios, different nuances, scripts, flows, conversation frameworks to actually follow if you want to start making more sales in the DMs. So I'll kind of skim through this doc throughout this video. But if you guys want it, you guys want the actual document, so that way you guys can maybe print it out, you can follow it, etc. Give me a shout in the comment section, and I'll send it your way. So the biggest thing when it comes to closing sales in the DMs, right? It's not rocket science. It's about trust and rapport. How much content has that person consumed from you? Finding a real problem that the prospect has, right? Like if the person doesn't have a problem, or they don't have the problem that your offer provides a solution to, then it's going to be very hard to actually get them to buy a product, right? If they're not even aware that they have a problem, if they're not even aware of XYZ, they're probably not going to buy anything from you. Recommended solution, help guiding them to the sale, right? It's not that crazy, right? It can be very simple when you start to understand it. Now, again, the goal, like we ran this to our coaching clients who pay us, $500 to $1,000 a month to get their hands on. So I would definitely use it. But the thing to remember is the goal is to eventually not need this. So eventually, you'll be able to just kind of understand how to move your prospects, maybe your group members, people coming into your world, and move them to the point of actually purchasing a product from you without having to follow this. But I will say that this really helped me in the earlier stages, because I was that guy that would build rapport for 18 weeks and never ask for the sale. And following a couple of the scenarios in here actually changed my entire business. I started making sales. I started actually getting momentum versus like, why is nobody buying from me? Where it was like I was never actually moving to the point of making an offer. So, quick side note, right? If the one thing that you guys can try to do is try to establish some awareness around like how you operate in your own sales process. If you are the type of person that is extremely aggressive, with minimal value on the front, like if you're just constantly barraging people with offers and they haven't seen anything from you, then you kind of want to do the opposite, right? You might want to build some more rapport, give some more value, dial it back in the DMs, versus if you're the other side of the coin where you're kind of giving a ton of value, but you're never actually getting to the point of making offers, then you kind of want to flip that again, right? Maybe stop giving value in the DMs, right? If your content is dialed in and you have a community, or you have this infrastructure on the front and people are consuming your content, that's building rapport. That is building the relationship with people. That is literally why we're posting content, right? Like if I was somebody who was going live every day, say on TikTok, my conversations that I was having with people post live would be pretty straightforward. I don't need to go backwards in the process because they just watched me for hours, if that makes sense. So a big part of it is also getting kind of clear on who you are as an individual and how you actually operate inside of the DMs or your sales conversations, because they're not linear, right? You can either be way too aggressive and piss people off and not make sales, or you could be timid and not make sales because you're not actually like moving the conversation, right? So the biggest thing is finding your own happy medium. And the way that I was personally able to do that was looking at what I was actively doing in the DMs and flipping it to the polar opposite. Okay, I was that guy that would talk to you for 87 weeks around the weather and all this stuff, and kind of just wait and hope that you were going to say, "Hey, sell me something," which never really happened. So the way that I flipped that is go to the polar opposite. I stopped giving value in the DMs. The reason I was talking to people in the DMs was to get them to see if they were a good candidate for my offer. Now, it's changed, right? It's evolved and refined over time because I found the confidence to actually start doing this. But that's just a quick side note around getting aware on like how you operate in the DMs and fixing your problems based on what's actually happening. So I'm not, as again, I'm not going to run through all of these, but this is a bunch of different scenarios around closing sales, right? So these are all broken down into like scenarios, right? From a prospect requesting information around specific product. And then you have actual frameworks to follow, right? Prospect says, you say, etc. Okay, that's scenario one. And I'm not gonna run through all of these because this is an absolute monster of a document, and I would be doing this for X amount of hours. I would probably be here till the end of the day. So, cry for help, nearly as good as scenario one. The prospect is just a little bit further back from the sale. So, example, right, running through. Hey, saw group post video freebie. I'm looking for help with X outcome. Okay, you say, prospect says. Okay, like this can literally be the Bible for you closing sales. If you struggle with what to say in the DMs, then I would probably start using this. And obviously, you can create a variation. You don't. I wouldn't necessarily use it verbatim because conversations aren't linear. Have a little bit of awareness around the actual what you're talking to the person about. This is a big one too. The thank you, right? This is a very cool way to actually start getting interaction from your audience or interacting with the audience that is consuming your content. You got to remember, people want to break the tone of the actual type of sale that you're trying to make. Talk with people. If somebody's watching your stories, if somebody's liking your content, if somebody's interacting on a lot of your content, send them a message. And I'm not saying go send them a message with a link to buy your thing in the first message. Just start a conversation with them. The flywheel effect of that is they're going to see more of your content. They're going to see more of your offers. And then eventually they'll probably start buying from you. So if you're not, mix in consistent targeted outreach to your audience. So like if you're posting content every day and you see people interacting on the content you're producing, start combos with them, right? Say, hey, I appreciate the like on my story. Hey, I appreciate the comment on XYZ. Hope you're having a kick-ass weekend. The number of sales conversations that have started because of something like this, you would be surprised, right? I say, hey, thanks for this. And then they're like, oh yeah, I've been doing this and I'm kind of getting ready to do XYZ. Like moving into an actual offer relatively quickly. Next would be freebie. Now you can use these to your discretion. Like the biggest thing, people love free stuff. Realistically, people love free information, free tactics, free lead magnets. Now the reason I say that is we have to be kind of careful with this one because it does a really good job at like building this tone in your audience that you don't have anything for sale, right? Which most of us aren't Alex or Mosey and don't run a multi-million-dollar business already. So you have to sell products. So like freebies are fine here and there, but I wouldn't make this the entire tone of everything. Okay. Obviously you can like utilize content loops and utilize the free stuff in your group to refuel and grow your group. But you want to let people know that you do have stuff to sell. And if you're doing this and if you're giving away free value, we just need to make sure that we're matching the number of offers that we're actually sending to people. Because a big problem that I see a lot of people running into is they'll build this free thing, this free lead magnet or whatever, and they'll just do that. Like, oh, I'm only just going to start giving this away because everybody's going to start buying off the back, which very rarely happens, right? The number one thing that happens with free information more often than not, they don't even do anything with it. They don't pay attention. They don't do shit with the stuff you're giving them. Like as a real-time example, this actual messenger manual that we're using to close sales, I guarantee you very minimal people will actually take it and use it and apply it into their business because it's free. People don't care. It's in one ear, out the other. They don't have any skin in the game. There's no, if they go take this or they don't take this, nothing changes in their business. So it doesn't really even necessarily matter, right? So just be aware of that. Hand raiser, these are probably like your bread and butter, especially with what we talk about and how we end up running our business. This will probably be the bulk of what how you're selling. Okay, someone raises their hand on your content, someone interacts with you on some of your content, that's technically a hand raiser. Somebody joins your group and you can move into a sales conversation relatively quickly. Okay, Doesn't have to be a long, drawn out song and dance. The golden hand raiser. So this is another one. If they comment about certain thing, specific tactics, specific strategy. Scenario 6, similar to the thank you sale. This is like Ascension. Okay. Hey, I really enjoyed working with you insert previous program. Wanted to touch base with you how everything's going. This is like the anti no upsells ever. Okay. If somebody has a good relationship with you and a good experience with you and a paid product, send them a fucking invite to buy another thing from you. Work closer with you. Do the next thing. Fix the next problem. Okay. It's not, Ascension doesn't have to be a dirty word if you do it correctly. And I'm not saying leave things out of your product or your process to try to get people to buy the next thing. But if people have a good experience with you, they will want to work closer with you, right? We've had coaching clients paying us retainers for years because they love what we do and they love the help that we give them. And it's not like this. Realistically, they wouldn't continue to pay us for years if they felt like, you know, we were taking advantage of them or there was some type of weird thing around that. When you prioritize building the relationship and actually getting your clients results, Ascension isn't a bad thing. Okay. Just like McDonald's when they ask you if you want small or medium fries, right? The invitation. So this is like pretty aggressive flow for dropping an invitation around getting people to work with you. Okay. Worst thing that people could say is no. So asking and like let them tell you no. Hey, I saw you've been doing XYZ in business. Would you be interested in potentially working on XYZ together? No, I'm good. Okay, cool, thanks. Like, no big deal. Okay. This is like a CPR sale, old conversations. This is a very powerful one that a lot of people end up neglecting. Okay, we always think we need new leads, new people into our world, whereas more often than not, like you could scroll back 6 months in your DMs and you would have sales opportunities already in your inbox right now, right? If you guys want to make more sales, like literally go back to the beginning of the year and start looking at conversations that died. Maybe people that said no to your offer, maybe people that said no to XYZ. Hey, it's not the right time. Like if the timing's right and a new offer's presented itself, like go restart conversations with people. You don't always need more leads. Okay. Follow up is let's see. Yep. Follow up, and these are just like different ways to follow up. Okay, different ways to follow up with people in your inbox, your world, etc. And that's it. Right. This is an absolute monster of a document that I would highly encourage you guys to start using, especially if you want to convert sales in the DMs. Okay. This has scripts, flows, people, you know, what you say, what they say, etc., scenarios. And obviously the goal isn't to follow this and become a digital marketing robot. But I know this is probably one of the biggest struggles for most people. And especially if you're trying to like remove sales calls from your business or you're trying to, close more clients in the DMs. This is a struggle. It was for me, right? I didn't have sales experience. I didn't have any experience around, selling products. So it was probably one of the biggest hurdles for me. So definitely use it. Now, if you guys want this document, drop a hashtag Bible in the comments and I'll send it to you. The only ask of you is you apply it, right? Obviously, this is an actual training that we gave to our coaching clients who paid us, thousands of dollars for. So fucking use it, right? This isn't a placebo of a strategy or something like that. This is what we use in our business, right? And then B, the only other thing, if you get some value from this and you enjoy this, like drop a post about it in our free community. Maybe if you use one of these things to actually close the sale, fucking let us know. And that's it. That's all I got for you. Go use it. If you want it, drop a comment. If not, no big deal. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.